Do you want kids? This is a question that I have seen a lot of people have an absolute answer to, but I've not really seen anybody not know. I don't know, and I just want to create a space for the girls who don't know. So like I said, I've seen a lot of answers. And basically there's two sides of the spectrum, people who have kids and people who don't have kids. And then of those two sides, there's two like quadrants, people who regret their decision and people who don't. I've seen the women who have kids and regret it, and they come online and they say, you know what, this is a big lifestyle change. It's a lot. If I could go back, I wouldn't do this. I love my kids, but I don't think this is for me. Women who have kids and love it. And I always knew I wanted to be a mom. I was made to be a mother. Like, I feel so fulfilled. Women who don't have kids and regret it and are like, you know, I just got too old, I couldn't do it, I never found the right partner, it just never worked out for me, but I always wanted kids, and now like I just it's something I'm gonna have to mourn, that my life didn't get to go the way that I wanted it to. Women who don't have kids and don't regret it. Dink lifestyle, super happy, kids always disgusted me, I never wanted kids. When I was young, I was like, why the hell would I do that? Then there's me who doesn't know and has been on this kind of like slide rotation between the two sides, and it's mainly been a downslide, but sometimes I will like find something that brings me back up, but then something else brings me back down. So we have to start at the beginning. When I wanted kids, but I was a kid myself. I didn't know nothing about the world. So getting older and learning something about the world taught me that life is expensive. These bills be billing, and kids are expensive too. And I wasn't sure I could afford them. So my confidence of like, I want kids kind of slid down. And then people tell you, okay, well, you can't just say you want kids and think about like a moment in time. You can't think about, oh, my baby's first steps, oh, like my son's high school graduation. Like, you have to think about the whole spectrum of it and all of the difficulty that every day will bring. And I thought about that, and I'm like, you know what, that would be difficult at times, but I do think there's value in building a family, and I do think there's like a certain fulfillment that you get from teaching someone how to be a person and seeing what kind of person they become. So yeah, like, I think I'm into it.
Turn left onto Hazard Avenue.
Girl, I'm going to work. I sit in traffic half the drive to work. That's why we're talking. But if you hear my GPS, no, you didn't. So then a little bit more time passes. The next thing that really had me like, I don't know if I want kids, I don't know if I can do this, was mothers talking about being pregnant. Like, y'all are not selling it at all. I was already scared of giving birth, but I gave myself the little bit of delusion of like, you know what, it's just one day, one experience, I can get through it. You know, C-section, I don't have to push. Natural birth, I don't have to get cut open. Like, there's pros, like maybe I can do it. But then it went from, you know, giving birth is the most beautiful thing you'll ever do, and you bring a life into the world. It went from that to my nipples fell off, my hair came out, my teeth chipped, and I'm depressed. Y'all are not selling it. I don't want to do that. Why would I want to do that? Multiple times? Y'all get back up and do that again? You're crazy. You're literally insane. So we've slid. Now I'm like, listen, I don't know that. But what kept me going a lot of the time was this delusion about the future, that like I will somehow find enough money to live the lifestyle that I want and just bring my kids with me. I will somehow find the strength to get through the one day of giving birth. And the latest delusion was just like, you know what, if I don't want to give birth, I don't want to be pregnant, I'll just adopt. Yes, it's very expensive and very difficult to get approved for some reason, but I'll just adopt. There's already kids out there who exist. Why do I have to make another one? There's kids who exist and don't have parents, and I can come in and solve that problem. So I'll just adopt. And so my delusions carried me back up, and for a while I was very strong in that. I was very resolute, and I'm gonna have kids, I'm gonna adopt, and I'm gonna give my kids the life that they deserve and build it around the life that I want, and everything's gonna be fine. And then I found the biggest deterrent for me from having kids, and it is men. Men are the biggest issue. Now, I don't want to be a single mom. I think if you're comfortable...
Hazard Avenue for 3 miles.
I think if you're comfortable being a single mom, then, okay, girl, I need you to drive your car. I think if you're comfortable being a single mom, then men can't deter you from anything because they're not even a factor. But I want help. That was always part of my contract. If I'm going to have kids, I'm going to have someone help me do it because kids are a lot. As I've gotten older and I've seen the way the world works, being alone is a lot. Like, life ain't easy every day. So if I'm going to not only care for my own life, but care for somebody else's, I'm gonna need some fucking help with that. So men have always been part of the contract for me. I will not just have a kid. Like, I need a husband, and I need a husband who I'm confident can help me with this kid. Bitch, what? We're at a red light. I hate these people. I need a husband who I'm confident can help me with a kid. And I am not confident that such a man exists. I'm not. Men are the one thing that I can't be delusional about. I tried, girl. I gave it my best fucking effort, but they destroyed my ability to be delusional about them. And I can't speak for every man in the world. I don't know every man in the world, but the men that I've encountered, the men that I've dated, the men that I've been friends with, the men that I know, I'm not procreating with them niggas. Be so serious. Be for real. What has given me the most ick of all is the police be bored out here. I don't like this. This is a bit of a sidestep, but I'm from Georgia, and in the city that I'm from, the area that I'm from, the police be bored. They just be around every corner waiting. They just be bored out they fucking mind. Traffic stop now is 3, 4, 5, 6 cop cars there to give somebody nothing. They pull you over for nothing. I've been pulled over 5 times. Have I ever gotten a speeding ticket? Have I ever had a reason to get pulled over? No. They just be fucking bored. And lately they've been bored out here too. And I don't like it. I'm sure we all know who's to blame. Not a fan. Anyway, as I was saying, men. The biggest ick that I've gotten from men has been actually confirming the things that I see to be true. So let's talk about the things that I see to be true. I tend to have older friends and I tend to work jobs. So I've interacted with women who have kids before, and their men are useless. Their men irritate me. I have been out at events with couples who have kids, and I've watched the men sit down to play games, sit down to drink together. I've watched, a man and his wife will sit at a table together to eat. The man is feeding himself, the wife is feeding the baby. When is the wife going to eat? Why does this man not do anything? Why all day has this woman been chasing this toddler around, and this man has just been yucking it up by the barbecue with his boys? Y'all piss me off. Y'all piss me off. You can't take this baby for 5 minutes? You shouldn't have to be asked. That is your child. That is your child, and that's your wife. You don't care if she eats? Y'all piss me off. So, it's the older women. It's also one of my friends out of state, she just got a promotion. And her company has 2 offices. She lives in Minnesota. Her company office is in Chicago. So she's in the Minnesota office, but because she got this promotion, she's been going to the Chicago office a lot to meet the higher ups and meet her new boss and do all of this. Tell me why she calls me to complain about her life and complain about just how busy she's been. She's been working late nights, doing all this, and she's like, I'm happy for the promotion, but it's hard because I feel like my life is falling apart. And she's telling me, oh, my house is a mess. I haven't, cleaned the dishes in so long. I had to take my son to school the other day, and I didn't have any clean clothes for him. I had to buy clothes for him on the way because I haven't had time to do laundry, this, that, and that. And she's complaining about all of this stuff in her household and in her child care that has been falling to the wayside. And I'm sitting there thinking, don't you have a husband who lives there? That man can't wash a dish. And it'd be annoying because it's you shouldn't even have to tell him that. Number one, clearly if you did tell him that, he would not do anything because he's fucking useless. But you shouldn't have to tell him that. He is a grown adult. He is a husband, a homeowner, and a father. He needs to act like it. Why isn't he washing the laundry? This doesn't make any sense. Did he get a promotion? Make this make sense. And it never will. It never will. So it's stuff like that that I'm like, I don't want to live like that. That would piss me off. Like, I kind of hate that. But the biggest issue comes when I remove it from, oh, it's just these particular men in these particular scenarios, and when I apply it to the men that I know. I had a phase in dating where I would openly say, I don't know if I want kids. And in dating, you know, what you want for your future tends to come up. So men would ask me, why don't you know? And I would explain it to them in depth. And the girls who get it already get it, but I'll give you a rough, like a brief explanation. There are lots of issues, such as everything I've already named in this video. Then there's the issue of, I would like kind of double down on, like, pregnancy is very, very hard on the body. It's not something you just snap back from. I'm not trying to do all of that. Adoption is expensive and it's traumatic a lot of times for the child. And, like, I'm sure that they'd be better off with a parent than without a parent, but it's just, it's an issue that I don't know that I have the capacity to solve. Like, I'm not a therapist. I don't know that I can get my kid where they need to be if I adopt them, you know, and, like, get them to be okay with their circumstances. Then there's the societal expectation that a woman will care for her kid more than a man will, which is like what I've been talking about, like, you know, I'm at a party, I'm feeding the kid, you're feeding yourself. Then there's like, where are the single dads? Nowhere. You very rarely see single dads, because unless a woman dies, the children are still considered her responsibility, and I never wanted to be a single parent. So it's like, as a dad, you have the option to say, oh, well, I don't want to deal with that, and you can just carry on with your day. As a woman, as a mother, it's very hard for me to have that option. I would explain weaponized incompetence. I would explain how men are just expected to do less. I would explain this concept of men like babysitting their kids or helping the mom with their kids. And people acting like that's not their kid. Like, they are not the father doing their fatherly duties. Like, it's like everything falls on the mom and the dad is just there for play. I would talk about this common scenario, not that common, but this scenario of women lying about who the father of their child is. And so a man raises a kid that's not his, and after years, decades of raising this kid, they find out the kid isn't theirs. They're mad at the mom, perfectly reasonable. And then they abandon the child they just raised, like as if that's not their child. You basically just adopted them, and now you don't give a fuck. You never loved your kids in the first place, and y'all are weird. Y'all are very weird. And the fact that men don't find that weird, it's disgusting to me. It's disgusting. You're weird. You're weird.
Turn right onto North Euclid Street.
The concept I have that men don't really see their kids as people. They see them as a legacy. A lot of men want a legacy, but don't really think about the fact that their kids are going to have their own minds, their own desires, their own thoughts, their own beliefs, and they might not want to follow in your little raggedy footsteps. There is this concept that I've done all of this thinking about the financial strains that a
Turn
kid
right
can
onto
have
North
on you,
Euclid Street.
the lifestyle changes that you have to go through to have a kid, the amount of time that it takes to raise a kid. Like, I've done all this introspection, and I find there are a lot of men who stopped, like, at the beginning, where they were a child themselves, they wanted kids because that's what society told them to do, and they never thought about that again. And so now they're coming to me saying, oh, I want to have 6 kids, I want to raise a baseball team, I want to have a legacy, when it's like, okay, have you considered how you plan on feeding 6
North
kids?
Euclid Street for 2 miles.
And the answer is no, and they just don't really think about it, and I guess it's because they don't have to. The kid doesn't come out of them, and the kid is not really their responsibility. So, you know, there's more I could say, but I will explain things like this to men. And I'll say these kinds of things make me apprehensive about having kids, because I want to have kids with a father who has done the introspection, who has done the, like, realistic thinking, and who is ready to be a father. Who is ready to father his... Like, when I say father, I mean, like, you care for your kids the same way that I care for the kids. If I got a promotion and I said, babe, they want me in Chicago, I leave right now. I'm getting on the flight. I'll be back in a week. That should be perfectly fine. Maybe not ideal because I'm just leaving, but practically speaking, it should be fine. You should know how to take care of your kids. You should know what they're allergic to. You should know their schedules. You should know their routines. You should know what they like, what they don't like. You should know how to cook for them, how to clean for them. Don't call me. Don't ask me nothing. Where's the spatula? Carly, she likes blueberries, right? Don't do that shit. You are a dad. Father your children. And I don't think I can get that from a lot of men. So I'll explain these concepts, And the ick comes from when I explain these concepts to the men, and every time that I have done this without fail, except for one time, but I'll get to that. Every time I've done this, the men are flabbergasted. The men are shook, shocked, and surprised. They've never thought about any of this. They tell me, oh my God, I never really considered that. Like, that's such a wild perspective. Actually, now that I think about it, I did want 5 kids. And like, that is actually a lot. Like, I don't know. That's crazy. I never freaking get out of my face. Get away from me. Why are you talking to me? You are a child. You are not a man. And you are certainly not ready to be a father. Get away. Shoo! I can't do it. I can't do it. And the fact that it's happened every time, I'm like, this is really how men are. How do I be delusional that I'm going to find a man who understands when you're all like this? Where are the men who understand? Where are they? I don't see them. The best I have to look at as an example is my dad. But I was never my mom. I don't know if my dad had to call her when he was taking care of us and ask, what's my daughter's name? I don't know that for a fact. I think my dad did a good job, but I also know my parents had like more traditional gender roles. They weren't like, that's wrong. I was supposed to sing the Dolly Parton song. They weren't like stay-at-home mom and businessman dad. Like, my mom had a job and stuff, but they were certainly more traditional, right? Like, if we needed to do chores, it was going to be me folding the laundry and my brother's taking out the trash and mowing the lawn. Like, they had their ways about things. My dad paid for everything. Well, okay, they split the bills. But, like, if we went out as a family, my dad was paying. If my mom needed something, my dad was paying. Like, so with these traditional gender roles, there is the sense that my mom is more responsible for us than my dad. And that was true. She was the main disciplinarian and the main caretaker in the house. And, like, that was their chosen arrangement. And my dad did step above it sometimes, but I don't know. So I'm not confident to say, like, there are men like my dad out there, because where the fuck are they? My dad knows how to build shit. My dad knows how to fix shit. My dad is of use. I'm not getting that from the men that I'm dating right now. So I have a hard time transposing this idea that, like, oh, they'll be able to cook. Like, when my mom was busy, my dad took care of us. I don't really know that I would get that from the men that I'm encountering. Then there's the one time that the man wasn't flabbergasted. The reason he wasn't flabbergasted was, of course, because he already had kids that he neglected to tell me about. So as I was sitting there talking about how there's no single fathers and it's always the mother's responsibility and yuck, he was thinking, oh, yeah, that's me. And instead of bringing it up in that instance when I was talking about kids, he chose to wait until days later. So that was helpful too. That was great. Really, really upped my confidence in men. So I'm in a place where I'm like, maybe I could like having a kid. Maybe. But I know for a fact, like, the women who are like, I've always known I want kids. I've always known I hate kids. I don't want them. I know that I want to be an aunt. But my brothers are not really trying to rush to make me an aunt. I know that if I have kids and if I'm able to enjoy it, it will be because I have a man of use by my side. I don't want to be a single mother. I can tell you that right now. I can tell you that for free. If I get divorced, I think I would heavily consider giving the father full custody. Because single motherhood is just not for me. It's just not. I'm sorry. It's not. Maybe if my kids are older, like high school, anything before that, it's not for me. So I know for a fact that I would need an actual partner and an actual father by my side. And I know that the men in these streets are not giving that. They're not giving. I haven't seen it. It's not been gave. So it's hard for me to have the same delusion about money, the same delusion about adoption, the same delusion about, oh, I'll just take my prenatal vitamins.
Use the left 2 lanes to turn left onto Warner Avenue.
I'll just take my prenatal vitamins and pregnancy will be fine and my nipples will stay on. It's hard for me to have that same level of delusion about men because they don't give. They don't give. They don't. They factually, oh my God. Are you going to come to a stop? Golly. They don't give what I need them to give. And then I've been thinking,
Use the left 2 lanes to turn left onto Warner Avenue.
wouldn't it be nice if I could have a trial run? Another thing that I really don't like about having kids is that it's a permanent decision. There's almost nothing else in life that's a permanent decision. Tattoos can be removed. College can be gone back to. You can change things at any time. A child, you can't change that. Once you have them, you have them. I guess you could give your kid up for adoption. I guess that's an option. But I don't want to do that. Like, there's no good, acceptable, morally standing way to say, I don't want a kid anymore. I tried it, I don't like it. Return to sender. There's no way to do that. And I think there should be a way. I would like a baby trial service. Maybe this is what foster parenting is, but I would like to be able to rent a kid for like 3 to 6 months and see how I feel about motherhood. It's not the same as being a babysitter. It's not the same as like working at a daycare. That's asking, like, do you want to be an aunt? And I already know the answer is yes. Do you want to have a kid for a little second and then give the return to sender? Yes. But do I want to be a mother? I don't know. And I cannot lock myself into a lifelong decision when I don't know. But I also don't want to lock myself out of a lifelong decision when I don't know. And right now it's not an issue because I'm single, I have no prospects. But as I get older, these eggs...
Warner Avenue for 1 mile.
These eggs are going to start drying up. And like Kenny JD, she's like 30. So she's like 3 years older than me. And she was talking about freezing her eggs. And I'm like, listen, if I don't find a prospect in the next A, S, A, or P, I'm going to have to freeze my eggs. That's expensive. I'm not rich. I mean, maybe I'll be rich by the time I'm 30. Maybe I'll have some Kenny JD money and I'll be able to freeze my eggs. But like, I'm not rich right now. I'm not even fucking close. So number one, I couldn't afford a kid if I had one. And number two, I can't afford to like preserve my ability to have a kid. And men don't freeze their sperm. I'm gonna freeze my egg, go through all that, and then get with some raggedy man with some raggedy old ass sperm. Like, I'm sorry. I have to keep it like PG-13 at least. But it's I just feel the clock ticking. And part of it is like, you know what? Whatever is destined for me will come to me at this point. If I'm meant to find a man of use and I'm meant to have a child with him, it will happen. But I'm like, what if I find a man who I think could be of use? And we're like, kind of like, maybe, and I'm 32, 33, like I'm running out of time, but I still don't know for a fact. Like, I need that trial run. Or I'm thinking maybe being in love and being with a man who's of use will make me feel more confident in, I don't know, and that's what I don't like. I don't like not knowing and not having a way to know. And I guess when I'm 40, I'll know. Because I will either have the kids or I won't. And if I get older and I regret it, I can always adopt at any age. I can adopt. It's just, I probably won't adopt a baby if I'm that old. I'd be adopting like a middle or high schooler, but then we have the mental health issue. So I don't know for certain. I don't know. But I do know that if I am to become a mother, I will need the means. So my paycheck gotta be paychecking. I will need the means and I will need the man. Right now I have neither. So do I want to be a mom right now? Absolutely no. But do I want to be a mom ever? Maybe. Not sure. So I know this video was a little bit of a divesting from what I usually have, from what I've been talking about lately. And we're gonna go back because what I actually was gonna film today was I was gonna film a video talking about how I want to live a lifestyle that doesn't seem to exist, and I don't know how to cope with that, or like how to try and build that when I've never seen an example of that. So we're gonna get back to like the
turn right after Jack in the Box.
The spiritual, the existential, the just kind of woo-woo-y of it all, of being in my 20s and figuring out what is going on. But part of what's going on is, do I want my family
Turn right onto South Harbor Boulevard.
Do I want my family name to die with me? My dad has 1 trillion siblings, so that won't happen. But do I want my family name to die with me? Do I want my DNA to die with me? And if I don't, how do I even bring my Caribbean culture to my child when I'm not Caribbean? I'm American, raised by Caribbean parents, but like like, I don't speak any languages. Like, I don't, like, too much that I've thought about, too much I still need to think about, and too much that doesn't even fucking apply because I am single. So, yeah. What? Oh. The daylight savings switch.
South Harbor Boulevard for 3/4 of a mile.
I haven't changed the time on my car. I thought I was just so late to work. But no, we're okay. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap up my drive to work. And I don't know. If I ever find a husband, I'll let you guys know how I feel about having kids. If you like this video, click on some of the ones on the screen. There are other things of me talking about what's going on with my 20s and just trying to figure it out and relate to you guys as I go along the way. And I'll see you all in the next one. Till then, toodaloo. There is a bored police officer next to me, so I have to wait a second to pause the video. Like, why are they everywhere? Don't y'all have somebody to protect and serve? Okay, bye.